Welcome to the Battle Playbook,
dedicated to speaking our truth both in and out of medical school. Cheers!
Cheers!
Alright, now let's get into it. Alright, so today we have our aunt today, Aunty Oyinda. Welcome! Our little special guest. We're excited to have her today on our channel. Introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Oyinda Adiogun, and I am Dami Aranki's auntie, maternal auntie, and they are the first love of my life. So, yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy they gave me a chance to be on the YouTube channel, and I'm excited for what we're about to talk about today, real life.
Yeah, we're about to get into some real stuff. We're about to get into some advice.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about men, relationships. So it's going to be a little spicy, and yeah, let's get started, you guys.
Okay, so the first question we have is, what are signs when you know a guy is all about you? So for the people in the dating scene, that sometimes it's hard to tell if a guy is actually about you or not, right? So we want to ask our aunt, who's married, of how many years?
I've been married now 17 years.
17
Woo!
years.
I have a lot of experience.
Yes, we want to get the expert on it. How do we know if a guy is all about us?
First of all, I think the first indication is when the guy just responds to the little things. It's about the little things. I remember when I first met my husband, I talked to him about, we're just having a conversation, and I talked about me loving candles, you know, and like he came over the next day with like, you know, a couple candles, nothing super fancy, but like he listened to me, right? And I remember the first time we started talking too, I just kind of mentioned that I had a 7 o'clock appointment and that I had a hard time waking up early. You know, I set my alarm. Of course, I didn't even think about it. You know, dude called me at like 6 o'clock to say,
Oh, wow.
let me wake you up.
He tried to impress you, right?
So I think it's not the big things. It's not the big dinners and, you know, the fancy restaurants or anything like that. But does he actually listen to you?
I can relate
You know,
to that.
and does he actually pay attention to the little things you talk about?
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest way to know that a guy is into you.
How long do you think they should be doing that for? Do you think it's mostly from the beginning or throughout the entire relationship?
And I think it's actually throughout the entire relationship. Like when you're with someone, right? Like, okay, Henry, you messed up my video. Throughout the entire relationship. I've been married 17 years now, and I think those little things still count. Then you have to reciprocate too. It's not one-sided. Like, you know.
Oftentimes society nowadays, this is one-sided. They think guys should be doing all the moves. Guys should be paying attention. Girls should just be, you know, flattered and receiving all the love.
No, baby. It takes two. It takes two to tango, right?
Yeah.
It takes two to be in a relationship.
Okay, so the next question is, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned in past relationship with men?
Guys don't change. Hear that. They don't change. Guys don't change. Actually, I would even broaden it. People don't change. Really. People can try to improve on themselves, right?
Yeah.
But everyone has that go-to personality. So I think in relationships with guys, if you are not impressed by the go-to personality, do not think you could change a guy. You're not going to change him. He could, you know, it could put forth his best effort in the beginning, but look for the go-to personality. And that's what I tell everyone. Like, it still stays there. So if you don't like the go-to personality, I'm telling you, don't be in that relationship.
So what aspect in a guy do you think that you can change?
I don't think you can
Actions, like...
You can, you know, I think when you're in a relationship, you can learn to adjust to each other.
Right.
And that comes with deep love and affection. Like, because I know, you know, Dami likes this, I do it. Just like my husband is not a big traveler. Like, he honestly is not comfortable traveling everywhere. But he makes a couple of trips a year because I love to travel. Right? So those are the things. So it's not really changing who they are. It's you guys learning and knowing how to accommodate each other. And that comes with love, respect, and understanding. So once you have that going, it makes the relationship a little bit easier. It does take work though, I'm gonna have to tell you that. It's not something that comes, just like right there after you get through the honeymoon, we love each other, I'm trying to get you kind of things, right? It takes work.
What do you think about someone who you love where their natural personality goes to, but maybe you're not totally physically attracted to them? Do you suggest to still give it a chance, or you keep looking until you can find both?
Right. And I'm gonna sound really Asian right now, right? Relationships, honestly, it's about understanding. Love grows in daily things that you do, in what you go through in life. I really think love grows. Just like, back in the Asian days, people get arranged marriages, right? And those arranged marriages is known to like really, really work. People get to know each other. So if they have that default personality that really matches you, and you feel like, well, the physical attraction, obviously something has to be there, right? I'm not saying totally, you think someone is zero.
Sorry guys, our camera died. We're just gonna continue where we left off. So my aunt is gonna finish up what she was saying.
Yes. So basically, if you're not 100% physically attracted to someone, I would advise you not to roll it out. So that's like help.
So given the commitment and given that you guys feel secure with one another, do you guys believe in looking through each other's phone at the chance?
That's a good question.
Do you think that's breaking? Do you think that's breaking trust, or do you think that should just be a requirement in a relationship? You should have my phone password, I should have yours, and I should be able to look through it.
Actually, for me, I think, when people get crazy over cell phones, passwords, and things like that, I think I always ask people, what is the underlying insecurity with that? I'm actually not one that, is big on, I gotta know your password and you have to know my password. I mean, if you're hiding something on your phone, or I'm hiding something on my phone, I think we have a bigger problem than the phone itself. Like, what is our problem?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, like what's the deeper problem?
Right. Yeah.
It's not the phone. So that's my take on it. I don't.
Have you ever, if you feel comfortable, search your husband's phone, and what were the repercussions of it?
Yeah, and I, obviously 17 years of marriage. You learn, you evolve.
Right.
I would never say I've never done that, because that would be hypocritical and that would be a lie. In our earlier times of marriage, I had some insecurities. I'm sure he did too. You're newly married. You're like, okay, even though we're married, he chose me. Did he really choose me? Does he still have other people out there? Did I really choose him? And as a woman, you tend to think, well, I chose him. I said yes when he proposed. So he should totally be just my man, my man and everything, and don't talk to anybody or whatever. Obviously, that's right. Faithfulness in marriage is huge. That's part of the commitment. Right. So earlier in our marriage, I would do that, where I'm like trying to get his phone, and I think there's even been a time where he's caught me looking at his phone. It feels so ridiculous. Like
what do you say? I'm sorry.
I'm serious. He was in the bathroom taking a shower, and I grabbed his phone and I was like looking at it, and I didn't hear. I was so engulfed. and looking at stuff, and I couldn't really find anything, so I kept looking like maybe I dig deeper, and then he came out of the shower. It's like, are you okay?
I would have just froze.
No, I did freeze.
Oh, you froze?
And I felt so small, and I think that was the day I said, no, you're better than this. Like, this is not you.
Yeah.
And, and I'm usually a confident person. I'm like, why are you reducing yourself to chasing after this? And I think for me, I've come to a point in my life where I'm like, I am the best wife any man could ever ask for.
Period.
So if you don't think this is good enough for you, peace out. I love my husband, but he knows that. And I believe with that confidence and what we share and how we built our life, it is so special to the both of us that it makes no sense to throw it away.
Right.
The next question is, what advice would you tell yourself if you were back in your 20s? You could look at yourself in the face. What advice would you give yourself regarding males and relationships?
Back to my 20-something-year-old self, I would say be more patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others when you're in relationships, and like look for the red flags. Like if something makes you uncomfortable, don't make excuses for it. Like, if you're dating someone and they have like an awkward behavior that you're not happy with, get the step in. It's not that serious. Don't stop trying to make something work at 22. Like there is no need. If you get the red flags, just take it as it is. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe that.
That's it. Yep. I wish I knew that when I was in my 20s, because it would have saved me a lot of heartaches, a lot of wasted time on friendships that isn't necessary, or even some relationships that weren't necessary. But ultimately, I guess you learn from it. Like the experience builds you, it makes you who you are.
Last question for today. What about having guys as friends? What do you think about that? What do you think about your husband having women as friends, and what do you think about you having males as friends?
Actually, one of my best friends is male. And I know you know him. One of my best friends. Marcus. He's more like family to me now. He's a brother. He's a family member to me. We've been through so much together as friends, as that even we call it siblinghood, right? For both of us. He's very special to me. And I knew him before I even met my husband. So for me, that's a relationship that I know that my husband came to terms with, because he knows, kind of like if I was gonna be with Marcus, I wouldn't be with you. Like, so he knows. And I think it's all about security. Like, we are secure in what we have as husband and wife, and we're very supportive of each other. We're very supportive of the friendships that we have outside of our marriage, outside of our friendship, because I think you grow more when you're not isolated. So I think we both believe in not being isolated just within our marriage. You need to set the boundaries, and if someone's your friend and they love you and they know you, they need to respect the boundaries that you are now in a relationship, and you are in a committed relationship, and they have to understand those boundaries. So that's what it is. Set boundaries, and it's all good.
All right, thank you so much, Aunty, for joining us today. We had a blast.
Yes, we did. Lots of love from the Battle Sisters.